All right, what we're getting to know is that the Home Minister is chairing a high-level meet in Parliament. He is meeting with the top security brass, including Home Secretary and NSA Ajit Doval. That's the latest we have for you. Kamaljeet Sandhu now joins me live. Kamal, do we have any inputs on what this high-level meet could be that's taking place in Parliament? Again, unusual on a Sunday.
Amidst a lot of speculations in what is going on in Jammu and Kashmir, there are several factors, including talking about abrogation of Article 35A, bifurcation, trifurcation of the state. I remember there are no clarification coming in from the centre. However, tomorrow is the big cabinet meeting at 9:30 a.m. And before that, on Sunday, which is, we know that Amit Shah is a workaholic, but on Sunday he's called top security officials. That includes the NSA, Ajit Doval, Rajiv Jain, who is the outgoing IB chief. We also know that there is obviously the Home Secretary, Rajiv Gauba, who are all present in that particular meeting. So yes, in that sense, this is a meeting which will have significance considering what is happening in Kashmir. A strong message needs to be sent, sensing that there is a lot of confusion which has been created. There's rumor mongering going on. The social media seems to be speculating. Nobody seems to be having an answer. And to add to that, whatever the governor has stated to the press seems to add to the overall confusion because there's not certainty as to what is going to happen. But tomorrow is the big cabinet decision, and we will know whether there will be a significant move, especially after a huge number of troops have been sent to Kashmir in the past 1 week, and that is not related to Kashmir alone. It's been sent in the Jammu sector as well. It's been sent in Ladakh sector as well. There could be external threats, but there is a lot of speculation that this is something to do with the abrogation of Article 35A. It's a sensitive matter. The political parties in the state have raised the issue. However, since this pertains to Home Ministry, this is obviously Article 35A is a presidential order which came in 1954, and we've been speaking to constitutional experts who tell us that this can simply be revoked. They don't need to have a cabinet per se, but if that is the condition, then this will be presented both before the Parliament, that is Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. But all eyes on this important cabinet and whether the government will really go ahead with this.
All right, Abhishek, let's just try and join the dots here. In the last half an hour, a lot of developments that we're reporting. There's a unusual cabinet meet which is scheduled for 9:30 tomorrow morning. It usually, I'm told, happens on a Wednesday at about 1 o'clock and not on a Monday morning. Then you've told us about these infiltration bids in the last week of July that was successfully foiled except for one, where 4 JEM terrorists have successfully made their way across the line of control, is what your sources are telling you. You have Amit Shah chairing a high-profile meet today. All of this seems to do with perhaps the situation in Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes, definitely the situation is being watched extremely carefully. What I am learning through various sources is that the security situation is under review at various levels. The situation at the line of control is being monitored by the Indian Army. There hasn't been any infiltration or escalation in the last 48 hours. But before that, there was a continuous skirmish from both sides. There was heavy artillery firing by the Indian forces in retaliation to what the Pakistanis were doing. In fact, on record, the governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Satyapal Malik, told me that even the Bofors were used. So things have been escalated. Thankfully, the last 48 hours have been relatively quiet. But what people are saying that this doesn't mean anything. Things could still get out of hand. Matters could still get escalated because Pakistan might be trying to, continue with these attempts of infiltration. And that is what is the big scare. Sources are saying that was the reason to take this drastic step of sending tourists away. It's obviously an extremely unprecedented step. It hasn't happened before. The Amarnath Yatra has never been cut short. But then they are saying that perhaps the situation was more alarming than before. In fact, the governor on record said when Pulwama happened, the whole world abused us. We did not want a similar situation to repeat.
Yes, and just playing devil's advocate here, Shuja, because as far as political parties in the region of Jammu and Kashmir are concerned, they've been just saying one thing through this weekend as well, that if there was this intelligence input that there would be a terror attack probably, or some kind of attack on the Amarnath Yatris why not just add additional troops within those areas instead of asking them to leave? And this is something they've even pressed for as far as clarity is concerned from the government come tomorrow in Parliament.
There have been a lot of points on which the government's move has been criticized, not just by the political parties but by other people as well. You know, for number one, it has been unprecedented that tourists have been asked to leave. Amarnath Yatris have been asked to leave. Then there are other things that have happened. Series of official orders have come out which basically suggested that the government, state government was preparing itself for something major to happen. You know, we saw students of National Institute of Technology being asked to leave. We saw reports of some hostels where students were staying being asked to vacate. We also saw orders coming in from various medical institutes which gave a sense that something major was going to happen, which does not necessarily only have to do with infiltration bids or the security scenario on the line of control. That's the reason why a lot of people have been pointing fingers that since there is no clarity and such things were still happening, it is only going ahead and has added to the atmosphere of uncertainty and chaos.
Shuja, Abhishek and Kamalji, do stay with me. We're trying to get all the perspectives possible on what really is happening in Jammu and Kashmir and the hectic activity that is also taking place today as well as tomorrow in Parliament. We have Paulomi also joining me live. Paulomi, that big cabinet meeting scheduled for tomorrow, what can you tell us about it? All right, there seems to be a connection problem there with Paulomi's live, but we'll try and reconnect with her. I was telling you about that big cabinet meeting which is scheduled for tomorrow. But let's just take another perspective from Kashmir. Shuja Al-Haq joining me live from Srinagar. Shuja, you've been speaking to a lot of locals. We also have Ashraf Wani who's been sending us these ground reports on how all the hotels have been vacated and how people are still speculating about what comes next for them. So fear still there. Is the panic, the situation as far as the civilians are concerned, the panic really brought down by a few notches, or are they still as anxious as they were?
Well, Vedika, the anxiety is continuing in the valley. There is still a sense of crisis that locals are going through. I was just going out and having a look at the marketplaces. I could see long queues of people at petrol pumps, stocking up. Some petrol pumps have completely dried up. They are out of stock. There are similar is a scene with a lot of grocery stores. A lot of people have thronged these places, have stocked up essentials. Though over past few days, some statements have come from the government side suggesting that nothing much was going to happen when it comes to status of the special status of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. But the clarity is not enough. I mean, there are no clear explanations. Even the governor yesterday, as we've been reporting about it, while he said that everything was all right, but at the same time he also said that whatever happens tomorrow, nobody knows. So all of it has added to the amount of anxiety that still prevails in the minds of the people here in Kashmir, and that's the reason why more people are seeking answers as to what exactly is happening.
Shuja, do stay with me. I believe that Paulomi is through with us now. Paulomi, I was trying to get through to you and talk to you about the big cabinet meeting which is scheduled for tomorrow morning. What are your sources telling you about it?
Well, obviously, it's going to be a very crucial meeting, Vedika, which is to happen at the Prime Minister's residence at 9:30 a.m. Tomorrow morning. Now, we do not know what exactly is on the agenda. For the moment, it is being kept quite confidential. Maybe through the day, we might be able to gather some information as to what exactly is on agenda at that cabinet meeting, but extremely crucial. Like we were discussing earlier, during Parliament session, usually the cabinet meeting happens on Wednesday afternoons around 1 p.m. in the afternoon in Parliament itself. But now we are hearing that the Prime Minister's residence will host the cabinet meeting for this week at 9:30 a.m. Tomorrow. We do not have any clarity yet on whether there will be a cabinet committee on security meeting, which is the highest decision-making body vis-a-vis vis-a-vis security related issues in the union government, whether that will be convened ahead of a full cabinet meeting. Again, something which we are trying to gather information on, but this is going to be extremely crucial, because also, Vedika, what we can tell our viewers right now is that the Home Minister, who is in Parliament this weekend because there is a BJP training workshop which is underway, the Prime Minister, remember, is also in Parliament along with 303 MPs of the Lok Sabha from the BJP and 78 from the Rajya Sabha. They're all in Parliament, but the Home Minister, I beg your pardon, Mr. Amit Shah, is currently cloistered in his office in Parliament, attending a separate meeting, and that is with the Home Secretary Rajiv Gauba and the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. So there is a meeting which is happening simultaneously in Parliament right now, which the Home Minister is convening in his chambers.
All right, do stay with me. I have Abhishek Bhalla also with me from Srinagar. Abhishek, we believe that a big announcement is also due tomorrow after this cabinet meeting that takes place. What are your sources telling you? Will this have to do with the situation in Jammu and Kashmir? Is that what your sources are confirming at this point?
Well, there is no word on that. What kind of a decision will be taken is anybody's guess. As far as people in the security establishment are saying, they are saying that there are no specific new directions, no change in SOPs. The army has stated that very, very categorically. Other security forces are there on the ground. Yes, there is an apprehension, as we've been reporting, about some kind of a major terror strike. Officials are saying there are people on ground watching movement of every possible suspicious person. But as far as any big announcement is concerned, there is no clarity on that, Vedika.
Right, Abhishek, do stay with me. Let's also just tell our viewers that a tense population, nervous political parties and a rigid government at the centre. The question over Jammu and Kashmir special status has been raked up again, and growing speculations on the ground about status of Article 35A have only amplified fears of a worsening situation in the state. Here's a report.
जो वो डर फैला रहे हैं वो बिल्कुल झूठा है। ऐसा भी कुछ नहीं है, कहीं भी नहीं है, सब बिल्कुल नॉर्मल है जम्मू कश्मीर में।
Everything is fine in Kashmir. That's what the state's governor had to say. But actions within the state and the cogs turning in New Delhi have once again created a sense of fear in the valley, underlining not everything is fine in the state. The union government's decision to rush an additional 10,000 troops to the valley in the last week of July, as well as politicians in the valley linking the troop build-up to a possible scrapping of state's special status, has led to growing tensions across Kashmir. Adding to the speculations are also news reports which quote government sources saying that the ruling BJP has given instructions to its units in every panchayat of the state to hoist a tricolour on August 15th. This isn't the first time anxiety has gripped the valley over speculations that the Bharatiya Janata Party-led government at the centre was planning to revoke Article 35A. So what is this contentious law? Article 35A was added to Article 370 by a presidential order in 1954. It empowers the state legislature to define the state's permanent residents and gives them special rights. The article disallows people from outside the state from buying or owning immovable property and forbids the J&K government from hiring people who are non-permanent residents, and protects Jammu and Kashmir laws from being challenged. The NDA government has recently sought the Parliament's permission to extend President's rule in Jammu and Kashmir. The government assured the House that assembly elections will be conducted soon. The top BJP leadership also held a meeting with its Jammu and Kashmir core group on 30th of July. Sources said the BJP top brass has asked its state leaders to be ready for polls in the state. The party has hopes to better its numbers in the upcoming assembly elections. State leaders have been asked to focus on developmental issues and campaign against corruption at all levels.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.